Good evening, everybody on YouTube. This is Gray Mouse with the Middle-Aged Men. I'm also joined with
the theme here.
And the Reverend.
We're going to change pace a little bit on this. Actually, I'm going to lead the conversation on what's really pressing right now that keeps being brought up by the news and the media, which are pushing an agenda. So what I want to talk about is the attack on the Second Amendment. So I'm going to open up the floor here. What do you guys think about that?
Okay, I'm not going to open this up because I can go all night or all day, depending on what time zone or what time you're watching this video. This is, all right. They shifted focus on what the focus was supposed to be about in the first place, and that is radical Islamic terrorism. Regardless of what anyone else says. Well, they used a gun. Okay, what about the Boston shooting? Oh, wait. No, that was the Boston bombing. If terrorists wants to do shit, then terrorists are going to do shit. They will find a way. It is part of their radical religion. And it's more political than it is a religion. Now, look, the way that this is being shaped as far as saying, oh, we got to do something about the guns. We got to take the guns away and wait. So this happened in a gun-free zone. The attack in Orlando happened in a gun-free zone. The guy that went and did this, that wasn't his first time at the club. His wife dropped him off there. That should be some red flags right there. He was on a no-fly list. He was invested by the FBI more than once. Now people say, no, but he was American. He was born here. He went to Saudi Arabia twice. So, look, again, he pledged himself to ISIS before he conducted the attacks, but on social media and by calling 911 to do so. So to completely ignore the fact that it was ISIS and radical Islam, to totally ignore that fact is a big kick in the nuts. And they shifted to guns. Okay, you take the guns away, then what? You're not even going to secure the fucking borders if you're a Hillary and Bernie supporter. You're not even going to fucking secure the borders. So guess where the guns are going to come from? Yeah, illegally, which so many of them are already on the streets. Illegal weapons. But you want to take away guns from the ones that have them legally. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, one thing
in the first place.
One thing too is that a lot of times that the Islam not really coexist with Western ideology, Western thinking.
Oh no, they're totally incompatible.
That's what I'm saying. They're completely incompatible. And then, you know, when his father and mother brought them over to the States, they brought that religion over here, and he was raised under that religion.
There was a report that when the 9/11 attacks happened, he was jumping around in joy. But see, if people were to point all this stuff out, it would be profiling.
Well, what really upsets me about this whole thing is that, like you said, President Obama and all his people, they will not say radical Islamic. Tell it like it is. Tell it what it is.
Okay.
And you know, Hillary Clinton has you know her hand in their pockets over there so deep, you know, and it's been funneling through the Clinton Foundation. They got so much money that they're getting from this. Of course, they're not going to call out Islam.
Okay.
There's too much money involved.
Okay, wait. First things first. Gray Mouse, you and I were in the military together. Okay, and this is certain things I gotta point out here. it's very, very stupid that if you do not have a leader that points out the enemy, that names the enemy, we can't fight it if we don't know what the fuck we're fighting or what the fuck we're fighting for.
To add on that, I don't think they want to fight it. That's the problem. They don't want to fight it.
I was getting to that, and excellent point. So you have someone that won't name the enemy, won't call the attacks what it is, won't address the situation to what it should be addressed, will not protect the American people in the time of need. Then you have hypocrite Hillary. I'm going to say this. She said that no one was investigated by the FBI should be able to get a gun, but yet she is being investigated by the FBI and she's able to run for president.
Yeah,
that is one of the biggest contradictions that she's ever pointed out. Well, wait, no, she just no. Okay, in the United States, like me, I work putting in security alarms. I have to have a security clearance for that. I have to fill out paperwork and send that shit in and be investigated before I even get my card saying that I can do my job.
Yeah.
I was in the military. Gray Mouse was in the military. To get cleared on all sorts of shit, you have to have a security background check done on you. If it came back that we were being investigated by the FBI, done. There's no way we'd be able to get those jobs. There would be they wouldn't let us near ordnance. They wouldn't let us near ammunition. Period.
To say the same, to continue the conversation on, I think that the Obama administration, Clinton, and all those guys who support that are a really good magician, because what they're doing is they're doing sleight of hands and of basically what they're doing is they know there's a problem, but they're not going to identify the problem, but they're going to redirect a problem that, it was the AR-15, which it was not, that shot those people. And like I said, if you have people that are halfway decent with a pistol, they could put off just about the same amount of rounds into a target just as well as an AR-15 says. So for them to direct their frustrations or whatever, we can't call them radical Islamics, but it's got to be the guns. It's got to be the guns.
How do you get something that big with that much ammunition into a place like that?
But he bought the gun. He bought the gun legally.
Wait. There were no searches at the place at the front door. That's very good. Yeah. Wait a minute. There's so many red flags here as far as the situation as it goes. You're telling me that this dude got something very huge as far as a gun passed inside with ammunition to boot?
Well, what kills me too is, weren't there bouncers? There's always bouncers at clubs.
Yeah.
Well, so Reverend, me and Theme has been talking for the last 10, 15 minutes. What are your takes on this?
The first 10 amendments of the Constitution, which is better known as the Bill of Rights, is very important to anybody who lives in this country because it outlines, without question, these are the things that the government, who is in charge of the majority of the way things function, this outlines what they cannot do. There is a reason why the Second Amendment was included, along with the right of free speech, the right to practice religion, the right to gather peaceably, the right to due process, and all of those other rights were put into place by the founders of this nation. What a lot of people have to remember is that the Bill of Rights was written by a set of folks who were actively revolutionaries. they were people who had within their lifetime, actually not just within their lifetime, but during the time that it was being written up, were engaged in a war to separate themselves from the British Empire.
Yep.
You know, and there was a reason why those things exist. The freedom of speech thing. Look, the king knew, hey, if people are talking this way, that means they're thinking another way, and that, you know, I got to stifle that as quickly as possible. You know, he didn't want any of the farmers armed. You know, he wanted to tax the shit out of him and everything else, which is the reason why, again, these were people who were actively not just setting up a government, but they had gone through, they were looking the prospect of a revolutionary war in the eye when they went ahead and they wrote all of these things up.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people forget the context that these things are written up and provided for. The thing that kills me is that when I hear somebody who obviously has put some sort of thought into it, has taken some time to be educated or whatnot, sit there, go out of their way and say that, you know, but the amendments are outdated, they need to be repealed. No. All right? Because you can simply go out of your way to compare the freedoms that are afforded to the citizenry here with those amendments around in comparison to countries that don't have such things.
Yep.
You know, I mean, there's a reason why the Soviet Union fell. Ask me if there's, you know, comedy night in any place in North Korea. You know, yeah. Tell me about how the folks in Venezuela are able to sit there and practice their freedom of press or freedom to gather peaceably and protest.
No. Wait, I'm going to touch on the First Amendment for a second. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion. Freedom of speech, fine. You don't have to agree with everybody, what everybody says or whatever. That's fine. But to cut off the opposition because you're scared of what they will say, or you can't even defend yourself with knowledge, with common sense, with logic, with facts. That's
the problem with that.
Wait a second. And then there's religion here. Now, radical Muslims, radical Islam, jihadists, whatever. Okay? We're sick and tired of trying to distinct, you know, separate that at this point, especially since the government won't. You're not going to put distinctions in it, so you're going to lump it all in one thing. Their practice is to kill gays and lesbians, trans folk, etc. Their practice in their religion is to treat women like shit. Their practice in their religion is death to America. Regardless of how any way you see it or try to put it, there it is. And it is a fact at this point. So as far as practicing religion, to have a right to do that, that is incompatible with Western civilization. So as far as being Islamophobic, no, they are Americaphobic. Please understand that each and everything that they stand for, that we have liberated. We gave women rights. We gave them the right to vote. Gays, transgender, lesbians have all these great freedoms in the United States, and they fought for them. You're telling me that you're going to try to let people in or create excuses for them or create a magical shield around them that want to kill based on religion, and you're going to protect that? You're going to protect the people that are just incompatible due to their religion. to the United States of America. And look, that is hypocrisy to its base, to the fullest. And that's what pisses me off the most about this debate.
To add on to what the Reverend was saying about the, because I read an article that people are trying to reinterpret or try to put a modern twist on the Bill of Rights. For an example, the Second Amendment says that a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state and the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So what these people are trying to say is regulated. That word regulated. They're trying to say that putting that word regulated in there, that the government has the right to take away ARs, assault weapons, or if they find a 9mm, or whatever they feel that are, guns that are, able to cause mass destruction. And I'm totally against, quit trying to poke holes into something like this. It's not going to work. You're trying to put a modern twist on this, and it's not going to work.
Again, I'm going to point to the Boston bomber situation. There was no guns involved. September 11th were box cutters. There were no guns involved. So you have to look past the gun issue here. People have to look past that and look to what all of that connection. Look, we just had another attack in France with a knife.
Yeah.
What does all of that have in common with? Radical Islamic terrorism. That's the only thing that everything comes toward. And to ignore that.
And one thing that Trump is saying, he didn't say to bar all Muslims or from the U.S. He was just saying that that we need to find out what's going on.
Okay, look. Gray Mouse, you lived in Japan for 20 years. I was stationed out there along with you. We both know that Japan has a big Muslim population, but they have the lowest crime rate on the planet. Why is that? Because Japan screens out everybody that comes in there. Every time I went to visit Japan, they wanted to know why I was there, for how long, contact info, where I was going to be, who am I going to be with. If I stayed any longer than a period of 90 days, they would come looking for me and deport me.
They will go knock on your door. I guarantee you they will go knock on your door.
Not knock on the door. They would just go looking for me. And any sight of me, they will catch me and they will send me away.
Yep.
It is as simple as that. That has nothing to do with racism. That has nothing to do with sexism. No. That has something to do with their laws. And guess what? Lowest crime rate. And if you commit a crime and look, they don't play around. They do not fuck around with that. Especially other cultures or other people coming in and fuck around with this shit. No. Hell no. There is no rights and freedoms for you. And if you want to become a citizen there, oh yes, you have to bend over backwards in order to fucking do so. So as far as, you can't ban a religion. No, if shit is incompatible here, the president has the ultimate power to ban whoever the fuck he wants. It's been done before. It was done during World War II. So I don't understand how anyone that can see what's going on and then immediately point the guns and point to Americans as a whole. And like I said, people are like, well, they were born in the United States. Yeah, but they were influenced by some shit from other places that was incompatible to America.
That just irks me that they're pointing at all these different things other than what the true problem is.
I concur with what you just said, Gray Mouse. Trump, he wants to ban all Muslims and ban all. No, he said put a temporary ban. The key word is temporary, you idiots. Temporary until we figure out what's going on. So we can screen these motherfuckers out from entering the country. And then he wants to build a wall between Mexico and the United States. There's a wall between Mexico and Guatemala. You hypocrites. If you're going to say that wall is okay, but this wall to keep motherfuckers out is racist, no, he's not. It's for illegals. Okay, you want a solution? Become legal. Do shit the right way. Go through all the paperwork, go through all the checks, pay the cash, become legal. This pisses off a lot of people that did it legally. Legal citizens that did the proper planning, did the traveling, did the paperwork, paid the money, and now are legal citizens of the United States. This pisses them off the most.
Well, one thing too is that since, they're attacking the Second Amendment and they're attacking the First Amendment.
Sorry,
and then, what Reverend and I was speaking about prior to this was that they're not going to stop there. If they succeed in taking away the Second or the First Amendment, you might as well kiss all the Bill of Rights gone. And then it's going to go into, and then what really irks me, what I want to motivate people watching this is that don't sit here and simply ignore it and thinking that it's going to go away. Eventually, it's like the old thing that you learned in school, that you got a glass, you got a glass pond and you throw one pebble in the water and it ripples out. Eventually, those ripples are going to get to something that you hold dear, whether it be the constitutional right to protect your family, where people try to invade your house. Hell yeah, I want to have a gun to be able to shoot that person that's trying to invade my, whether it be the police, unlawful entry, or whether it be some crazed lunatic trying to get into my house. I will defend my house and I will defend my family, by God.
It's funny that you say that, because these two major issues between the First and Second Amendment, everybody follows that to a point in their own homes. You enter somebody's house and you're not supposed to be there. Even if you hop a fence and if you're not supposed to be there, then that person that is in that property can protect their keep. You trespassed without permission. And I have no idea what your intentions are. You don't belong here.
Yep. And so if you take anything from this video, is that I'm not saying to go out and be an activist or whatever. What I'm saying is you need to understand what's going on around you, and you need to voice your opinion and voice, facts about certain things. Because if you just choose to sit there and ignore it, and then when shit hits the ceiling, and you're going to be like, what the fuck happened? And you have nobody to blame but yourself. You allowed this to happen. It's this attack on the Bill of Rights is not going away. It's going to get worse. We talked about this about the gaming industry to bring it around. We're like, oh well, don't worry about that. I don't want to play that game anyway. They're going to censor this game. They're going to censor that game. See, it's that same exact shit is happening in rights and your freedom of speech. It's all connected. And if you choose to ignore this shit, it's going to get so out of control to where you're like, what the fuck happened?
There are people that are saying fuck free speech. Well, how are you able to say that if you want to take away free speech? You fucking idiot.
You have people signing petitions to take away the First Amendment.
Yes, I covered that. And it's fucking contradictory and fucking ridiculous how things can actually get this far. And if you want to remain civilized as a civilization, as far as what we got left, you have to look at other countries. You have to look at third world countries.
Yeah.
You have to look there. Me and Gray Mouse, we've been to some of those countries and we're like, hell no, I don't want to be there. Fuck that. Damn, how do you do it? We took this place for granted.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to say this. I didn't leave the Democratic Party. Democratic Party left me. They want to do all types of shit for people that are lazy, for people that are ignorant, and people that incorporate feelings over facts instead of hard work, merits, security, and defense. which is ridiculous.
Hey, Reverend.
Going to a third world country and seeing that people look. I remember when me and Grey Mouse went to Bali. You had people still using the mini jumper cables, water, and potatoes and a light bulb in order to actually get light in their house. Dead fucking serious. Anyone that was born in the United States, you're not oppressed. I don't give a fuck what color you are. I don't give a fuck. You're not oppressed. You won a sperm lottery compared to those motherfuckers. Please. You have every opportunity in the world. Quit the bitching and just work hard and do it.
And the thing is, I would,
man, just.
The thing is, I would love to encourage people to leave America, as in to go out into the world to visit these other countries, and then you'll realize how good you really got it here in the United States.
And the thing about that is, you're right in front of a fucking computer or a phone or a tablet, whatever. It takes minutes of searching to actually see what else is out there. Yeah. Be open-minded. Yeah. And please listen and understand things that are being said and why they're being said. Please, the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. Again, you're trying to take away that for America. Yet you want to import all these Syrian refugees in, even though ISIS has stated that they have people that they implant with these refugees and then ship them out. What the fuck are you doing? You want to disarm America for that. And you're doing that. And these motherfuckers even admit that they're doing what they're doing. What the fuck are you doing? This administration and Hillary and everybody that supports her are against America at this point. Freedom of speech is all but gone because it's always stupid motherfuckers saying stupid shit about freedom of speech all the time. Now you have the Second Amendment being challenged. What the fuck are you doing?
It comes to a point to where, the freedom of religion, and being able to practice their religion here. But when you got these radical individuals practicing their religion, by shooting up Americans because they don't like homosexuality, they don't like the Western civilization, they are against everything that we stand for. Why don't they understand that? So what do you have anything to, Reverend? I mean, me and things been going on and on. You haven't said much. I mean,
2 days ago, the Democrats just finished a 15 fucking hour filibuster requiring the research and vote on gun control. What a lot of people didn't realize about that particular filibuster is that they mentioned the Second Amendment many, many times, but they didn't also realize that another amendment was being influenced by the proposed act and the proposed controls that they're putting forward, which is the Fifth Amendment, which is the right to due process.
Right.
Okay. This is the amendment that affords you as a citizen the ability to avoid just being pointed out randomly in the crowd and being fucking arrested and being persecuted and then being punished, all right, illegally without due process, okay? But people are cheering. Why?
Because for most people, they want their word to be law.
Well, no, they don't know what the Fifth Amendment really means.
No.
Because you've heard plead the Fifth, right?
Remember that. Remember this. Listen to believe shit that feminists.
No, hey, even before that, this is what kills me.
Yes,
When you do something that's so heinous, the first thing you should do is lose every fucking right
yes.
that you have in the United States. They're gone. You
Yeah.
fucking went in there and you killed motherfuckers. You're no longer human. You're no longer American. You are the motherfucking enemy. You do not get due process. You get hung, you get killed, that's it. You get stood up in front of a goddamn firing squad and you get eliminated. That is what needs to be, that's what needs to lose your fucking rights when you do something as asininely stupid as going there and shooting up a movie theater, shooting up a fucking club, just because you don't like the individuals that are in there. You lose all human rights. You have no human rights no more. Because let me tell you something. What they do in Japan, you do something like that, because there was a bad crime in Sasebo, actually, of a high school student that actually chopped off a girl's head, straight up. And there was no due process. She went into jail, and she went on death row. There was no sexism. Look, you lost all the rights. And the thing about it in Japan, you don't get told when your day is going to be coming. One day you hear a knock on your cell door, you're escorted out, and you're hung. And that's the end of it. And I'm telling you, fuck due process when you do something like that. You don't deserve it. So, yeah, and you notice that everybody who has done these heinous crimes have all died at the scene because they know better.
That's what they were prepared to do under their religion.
And
they're not being taken alive.
And
that is not their mission.
No, and to say, and to use religion as a crutch for this,
no,
unacceptable. I did this for Allah. I did this for God. I did this for Buddha or whatever.
The fact that he sent text messages, or he sent messages to his Facebook, and he called the police and pledged and explained why he was doing what he was doing. And the woman, his wife, she's nowhere to be found now.
Well, no, the news didn't tell you that until it actually got leaked. They didn't want that information out there. They didn't want that information that they pledged because, again, radical Islam, they didn't want to mention that. And you know what? His wife said that his wife knew what he was going to do.
Well, wait a minute. Remember,
why isn't she fucking being arrested right now?
Wait a minute. Remember, because she's nowhere to be found. She is nowhere to be found right now. Remember, she was there when he bought the gun and ammunition. Remember,
she knew what it was for.
She dropped him off to the gay club.
Yeah.
There are too many red flags about this.
Due process. Yep. Due process is to protect American citizens from, just like the Reverend was saying.
You know, wait a minute. The president is supposed to protect the American citizens from threats, foreign and domestic.
Well, no, I mean, the Fifth Amendment, right? That's for, like the Reverend was saying, that somebody can't just point you out in the crowd and say, this guy robbed me. That's what that's about. You know, so you can't use that Fifth Amendment as a crutch.
Remember, like I say, in the reverse, feminists want that power with that listen and believe stuff. They want to be able to point anyone out and for that person to go away. That's where the contradictory comes in again.
So what were you saying, Reverend, about the I'm sorry, that really ticked me off. The Fifth Amendment, how is that even being brought up in a Second Amendment?
They're doing it and they don't even realize it.
That's what I'm saying. How is that even being brought up? That's like night and day. It doesn't, what? Maybe I'm not understanding something, but I mean, that shouldn't even be brought to the table. There is no due process for somebody that has done something like that.
No, it robs the people that they are investigating and want to pull guns away from of their right to be able to contest that, or even be able to ask, why am I being investigated? The thing that a lot of people don't realize, no matter how emotional or how strong, how passionate you are about where your stance are, how indifferent you are about the Bill of Rights, in the first 10 amendments to the Constitution is that when one of them goes away, all the rest will follow.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Okay, there's a reason why all of them were there, and they were all emphasized and put in there by the people who founded the nation, who were going through a fucking revolution and fighting for their rights and freedoms. Emphasized that these are the things that government cannot do. Okay. There used to be a time that liberal meant, hey, let us be free and leave us alone.
Huh.
Now it means that this is our forward thinking. Everybody should abide by it. And that's just not a good mental outlook to use, no matter where you lean on the political scale.
Mm-mm. No.
The thing that kills me about a lot of folks is that they know their thoughts on these particular issues broadly, but not very deep. They don't scratch very far beneath the surface to see what else might be going on, what else might be hiding there. And the reason why it's so infuriating, especially this day and age, as you guys said before, it only takes a few minutes searching on the internet to be able to find something about it. You know, and that's just how it is.
Or even just being open-minded to conversations and not yelling and screaming down someone's ear, just trying to shove your narrative down people's throats. Keep an open mind and gather knowledge and have a conversation. People are so afraid to do that nowadays. Why? Especially if you claim to be a civilized person and that wants civilization to remain civilized. Lead by example. Yeah. Damn shame. Any other thoughts, guys?
Take us out, team.
Trump 2016. Credits.